Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Bits and Bridges. First of all, thank you so much for amazing response to our first show. The feedback, messages, and encouragement were truly overwhelming. It motivates me to bring even more insightful conversation for all of you. So here I am again with a brand new episode. Today, we are diving into a world that is critical yet often visible to many: the life of a security engineer in one of the world's biggest tech giants, Microsoft. Cybersecurity has always been a hot topic, and many of you, whether you are a student, fresh aspirant, or working professional, often wonder, what does a security engineer actually do in a global company? To answer that, we have a very special guest with us today, Puja, currently working as a security engineer at Microsoft. Welcome to the
Welcome.
show, Puja.
Thank you, Lokesh. Thank you for having me here.
Sure. So, Pooja, I mean, before we dive into some serious stuff, right? Let's start with couple of fun and quick questions, right? Those people would love to hear your opinion on that, right? So, have you ever been hacked personally, right? When I say like your email, social media, or your gaming account, or anything, you hacked personally.
Lokesh, I think you are starting with the trickiest question at first. Yeah, but to be honest, yes, once my personal email was compromised years ago, then
Mm-hmm.
I reused a weak password,
Uh-huh.
and it was a humbling reminder that even security professionals aren't immune. And that's why now I always preach good password hygiene now. It's like the easiest way to be safe on internet.
Wow, that's good to hear. I mean, yes, using those, password again and again, and we sometimes do not even know, being a security professional as well. But yeah, I think it's a good one, right? So another one, right, for you. So what's one secure cyber security myths you often hear from your friends and your family? What is that one thing?
Okay, I hear a lot of them, but one very common thing that I get to hear from most of the new joiners in this field, I get to hear that Macs don't get viruses. So I hear this all the time, and I feel that it's not about the system. Every system can be attacked, even if it's valuable enough. And security is less about the hardware device and more about the user behavior, how you are using it, how you are maintaining your personal hygiene when you are browsing on internet.
No, I think your last statement makes definitely perfectly sense. Security is not about software and hardware, it's about behavior. And I think the people who are listening, I think this is bang on. Thank you so much. So, one question, and this may be a personal one, right? So, if you were not in
Mhm.
cybersecurity, right, what alternate career would you have been chosen?
Uh, that's a good question. I think I have a huge interest for art, be it dancing, painting, or singing also. So I think if not in cybersecurity, it would rather be dance or uh, maybe painter. But thank God that cybersecurity hooked me early, and it combines my problem solving and real world impact. So I'm not that good in arts, but yeah, I have a lot of interest for that.
No, good to hear that, because I know, many of the security folks, right? They sometime landed in this professional accidentally, and though they are, doing excel in this, right? But I know many of, my friends and many professionals that they landed in the security accidentally, and they were like, again, right? But good to hear that, right? So let's get, to our main question, right? A day in a Microsoft or a security engineer, right? So can you, and my audience also, would like to now know very curiously, right, that what a typical day, right, of a security engineer looks like at Microsoft.
You sounded so fascinating, Lokesh. So yeah. My day usually starts with reviewing alerts and incidents from overnight. We monitor dashboards. So the first thing is that we check those dashboards, prioritize what needs urgent attention and coordination with sister teams within our SOC. If there is something like burning fire, then we need to know that if it's a real incident or what. And apart from incidents, a big part of my role is proactive, working with developers and product teams to integrate security right from the design stage. Because at Microsoft, it's not only about defending their internal environment, it's also about building their product more secure so that they can help their customers also. So on average, maybe 40% of time goes to reactive work like incidents, and 60% is proactive, like security reviews, threat modeling, working on automation, collaborating with sister teams for better results. So yeah, that's how I will say a summary of my day
That's
looks like.
that's cool, cool, cool. I mean, it's a busy day, it seems, right? Cool. Nice. So what
At
kind of
times it
skills?
is.
Yeah. So what kind of skills or tool you use on daily basis, and how different are those tools from what we learn in college, certifications, and those, cybersecurity, the articles, videos, and whatnot, right?
Yeah, so since it's Microsoft, so we rely on our internal products more, and on a daily basis, I use tools like Microsoft Sentinel, Defender Suite, vulnerability scanners, and a little bit use of script like PowerShell. But tools keeps on changing. The real value is in strong fundamentals. It's not about what tool you're using. It lies
Mm-hmm.
in the knowledge of networking, operating systems, and security concepts, something that you build from your previous learning. So if someone is preparing, I would say that focus more on concepts, tools will follow. So even when I joined Microsoft, I was not aware of these tools, but slowly I learned because the concept remain same with any tool that you work in this domain. It's
No,
just that maybe the GUI changes or the architecture changes.
and I would say this is the fantastic, advice, what you said, Pooja, right? And I always, keep telling to my folks and my, connection and aspirant who basically approach me and discuss with me that what tools they can learn. I always say stick to the fundamental, learn fundamental, build your aptitude towards security, and then automatically you will fall into those lines of learning tools, knowing about those tools. But yeah, I think it's a great, strategy and great approach, right? So next, that I would basically want to know that how is working as a security engineer in a global company like Microsoft different from working in a smaller organization or startups? What changes you feel like when you go to your offices, right? And I'm pretty sure that you have uh, the experience of knowing about other the organization also. So what is that difference? What makes Microsoft different, and especially in
Okay.
security?
Yeah, so I would say in some aspect is it's too much different. In some aspect, the expectation is similar. But since at a smaller organization, you would be responsible for everything. But at Microsoft, it's not only about the internal protection of the own organization, it's also about the customers. We are protecting billions of users and services, which means the attack surface is huge. But the advantage is we also have world-class tools, research, and global teams to collaborate with us. So in smaller companies, you may wear multiple hats. Sometimes you are a defender, sometimes you play the role of an engineering guy, sometimes you are looking into the architect section. Whereas here your roles are more specialized, but it's still deeply collaborative. You need to collaborate with the sister teams. You need to have knowledge of all the other teams, but still, in your role, you need to be specialized.
Wow. I mean, it's great. So that itself, when you were saying, I could visualize that, this is how, Microsoft is different from other organization, right? The one thing that I can say, and maybe to add on to what you just said, is the scale, right? Scale is just phenomenal. It's so huge, right? The roles and responsibility, as you said, that they are defined, right? It is mature, right? Whereas the organizations, other organization, yes, they are mature in their own, personas, in their own, terms, basically. But Microsoft comes with a huge scale, and maintaining the maturity at that level is amazing responsible task. Thank you so much for sharing, Pooja. And I can understand that, how you guys are, putting your, like, midnight oil to, ensure that, the people are stay safe, right? So okay, so now one question, right? And I think the most of the people who working in security, right, and they are, struggling with this one area, right, where they see security is, as a stressful, stream, stressful, career, right? So how you working in Microsoft, and you have said that, it is responsible job in security, it's not the chill, right? So how do you manage your work-life balance in such a high pressure role?
I think a couple of things help me in managing my work-life balance here, Lokesh. And for everyone, I would suggest that you need to manage your work and your life both. It can be stressful, especially during a critical incident. If it's a 0 day, something like that, it could be stressful. But what helps me in this structured time management is prioritizing what truly matters and making sure I switch off after hours when possible. If you're sitting at one place, focusing in one thing for a long time, it would be really very stressful for that, for yourself, for your mind. So, personally, like whatever hobbies you have, I personally enjoy reading, uh, dancing. So, it helps me unwind my stress to that area. So, and the second thing that I would like to mention here is having a supportive team. So security is not one man thing, it's a team job. So if you have a supportive team at your work, you know how to delegate your work to your team members and come up to a conclusion that makes a big difference.
Awesome. I think that's great to hear that how, being in security, being a young, blood, right? How you are managing the stress, how you are managing that busy life being in security. Great to know, Pooja. Hats off to you, right? My next thing, do security engineer at Microsoft get involved in designing new feature? Because I know Microsoft is a product-based company, right? And so security also involved in there, right? By helping those product, to get more, feature, more strengthening, right? Or it's more about fixing the vulnerability and catching those threats.
I would say it's both, Lokesh. Security engineers here work with product teams. So I said in the starting that collaborating with sister teams is a major part of our role. So we collaborate with product teams also, and that mostly happens at the design stage. So doing threat modeling and reviews for any features if they are going to bring, it's not just about fixing bugs later, but preventing them in the first place. So if there is something new feature going to come up in market, we need to provide our feedbacks in the first place only. So we help design authentication and encryption from day one. How will it how will this feature come up to the customers? So that's all we are involved in.
Wow. So I think, it's the ecosystem, right? What I can visualize that, security team catches threats, and product team, integrate those, detections, basically, and this whole ecosystem in help is helping the globe, right? I think that's how I see. But that's great, great,
Okay.
good to know that. Right now, let's talk, about a very catchy topic, right? Which everyone, I think, is very buzzing, the AI, right? Uh, Security is now also evolving, and it is rapidly evolving, I would say, with AI and now the automation. Everyone and everybody talks about, right? How is Microsoft adopting in there, right?
Mm.
And how does it impacting your daily work, right? Maybe you can share something, without disclosing those, the internal, but how it is helping you and Microsoft.
I think you said right in the beginning. AI is everywhere. Wherever you go, people are focusing on building their tools, workflows using AI. So, and in security, it's a game changer, Lokesh. So at Microsoft also, we use AI heavily. It it is to ease out our processes, how we work on alerts, how we can handle the alerts, and how we can come up with the right set of alerts that are investigatable. So we are using heavily AI, and we want to even increase our uses of AI, because as the use of digital gadgets, as the use of more number of digital devices increasing, we are getting more and more alerts. So there needs to be some automated solution to handle those alerts, and it helps us prioritize real threats faster. But AI isn't replacing security engineers. I know most of us have that myth that it's going to replace security engineers. I would say it's augmenting us. It's helping us to ease our work so that we can focus more on other fields also. Human still makes the final judgment calls, because AI is a machine, and the responsibility to run that machine is with humans, and it lies with human, I see, going forward.
No, I think, and I would echo to, statement and your explanation, Pooja, very, strongly. And I would also add to this and tell everyone that AI is helping us, right? AI is here to help. AI is not here to replace the human, right? Because ultimately and technically, if you see, we human are building AI. We human are building those, the codes. We are writing those, the codes to build those LLM, those algorithms and whatnot, right? So they are helping us to be more productive, right? But they are not here to completely replace us. There are redundant things which can get replaced by AI, but they are also giving us the enormous amount of opportunity to learn more and do more research, right? But thank you so much, Pooja, for adding this, that Microsoft also, putting, heavy efforts and especially the security to get AI, as their, support function, not as a replace function of the people. Thank you so much, for sharing that, right? So let me ask the one question, right? When you work in the security, right? So what is that most interesting and surprising part of your job that outside people or outside the security field, the professional might not expect, right? What is that most surprising thing?
Okay. So, I mean, one surprising part I would like to share is how much of the job is about communication and collaboration. Most of the people at sitting outside thinks that it's more about knowing tools, it's more about knowing the technology only. But I would say that a lot of our efforts goes on communication and collaborating with the sister teams that we have. It's not just sitting behind the screens only. So we spend time convincing developers, talking to business leaders, and sometimes even explaining risks to our non-technical teams with whatever processes that we have or whatever feature we are going to come up with. So security is as much about people as it is about technology. You need to know how to collaborate. You need to know how to share your feedback so that we can come up with a more advanced product. So I think a person needs to be more and more focused on collaboration and communication.
That actually to
I
the
hope that
very
helps.
no, 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 that is very to the point, really, I mean, people sometimes do not understand that how security teams are working, be it Microsoft, be it some other organization also, right? And they sometimes get very fascinated, right? And we sometimes do things which other department doesn't, right? Because when it is coming to catching the threats, right? So that is something for me it's very interesting, right? And I always take pride in saying that, right? But that's great, 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 Puja. So far, right, we are discussing like about life in the of a security engineer in Microsoft, right? Your views on the security topics and how things are moving in and out in there, right? And by the way you have responded, and I'm pretty sure that audience would be now more excited to know and to basically try to join company like Microsoft, right? And especially in the security department, right? So what is that one advice, right? And maybe two, right, would you give to the aspirant students or even the professional who want to build a career as a security engineer in a company like you, right? Or in a company like Microsoft? So what would be that advice?
I would say don't get overwhelmed.
Mm,
Focus on your basics.
mm,
Start with knowing how your network works, how your what is your OS fundamentals, and get hands-on with labs. Get to know that if you're sending some message from your machine to other machine, what all things are coming in the picture. And when you know the in and out of that, then you know what are the associated vulnerabilities with that, what are the associated risks with that. If you know that, I think half of your work is already done. I I know that most of the people think that certifications are going to get them whatever they want. It does helps, I will say, but skills from doing hands-on exercises on your projects, internships, or CTFs, it just stands you out. It just shows that you does not only owe uh, the bookish knowledge, you also have that practical learning experience. You can come in the project, you can showcase your skills there also. So for working professional, I will share that focus on showing impact in your current role and keep learning. Learning is the key in security. Every day I get to learn something new, and that's how I evolve my career. I feel that cybersecurity is the ocean, and every day we have to learn something about it. It's not going to stay constant. So even if you have learned a lot, after 5 years, it's going to change. You have to keep upgrading yourself. You have to know about the recent tools, the recent techniques that attackers are using. And that's how you build your knowledge base and you come up with the right uh, or you come up with your success, and that opens all the doors for you.
I think that makes sense. And I would say to my audience, especially the student aspirant who are in queue to, get into the big giants, right? They can make a note, right? What Pooja had just advised, and I would strongly, recommend that approach, right? Thank you so much, right? That's quite, inspiring, right? Thank you so much, right? So, last, thing that, I would like to, right? If you had to describe your job, right? uh, in one sentence, right, to a small kid, right? How would you explain what you do?
Okay, it's really interesting. Okay, so I have a niece, and sometimes I try to explain her what exactly does I do. So I share her that I help protect the digital world from bad guys, just like superheroes protect cities. So mostly the new generation is too much interested in superheroes. So to emphasize myself, I also share that I am like a superhero protecting my city. And And to answer, yes, if a 10-year-old said that they wanted to do this job, I would encourage them to stay curious, play with computers safely, and learn how things work. Learn how your each clicks can do magic. So it's like a two-way sword. You can achieve anything, you can reveal anything. And to be here, curiosity is the best starting point. The more curious you are, the more learning you will get.
Wow, that's such a great conversation, I would say. So, with that, thank you so much, Pooja, for sharing your journey and giving us a peek into the world of security engineer at Microsoft. So, before we wrap up, if our audience wants to connect with you or follow your work, where they can find you.
LinkedIn is the best place. I am quite active there. You
Oh,
can connect with me for any help.
wow, that's great. Thank you so much. You are perfect. Thanks again for joining us today, right, Pooja, and all of our listeners. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll be back soon with a more conversation on bits and bridges. Until then, stay safe and stay secure. Jai Hind.